Hey, welcome to Vicki Chats. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you here. I have a very special guest in the studio with me today. Get ready to meet the smooth, rich sounds behind some of your favorite commercials. Oh, narrations and promo ads. It's Rick Vaughn, a rising star in the world of voiceover. As a male voiceover talent and actor, Rick brings soulful depth and authentic emotion to every word he speaks, captivating audiences with a voice that's as warm as it is commanding. Though he's never been formally trained in radio or acting, Rick has been using his voice to inspire since the age of 16, narrating plays, delivering speeches, and later sending his talents to clients like Gospel Temple Church, Salem Church, and the podcast Church Beyond the Four Walls. His passion was truly ignited after being invited on a promotional tour with Grammy Award winning Kirk Franklin and God's Property, a life changing moment that led him to pursue voiceover seriously. Rick's journey from the U.S. Postal Service, where he spent 31 and a half years as a letter carrier, EEO representative, and union steward, to full time voice talent, is a story of passion meeting purpose. He honed his voiceover talents and skills under the guidance of Dallas industry veteran Bob Michaels. And it was in those classes that Rick truly fell in love with the craft. Beyond the mic, Rick holds an associate's degree in small systems computer specialization with a certificate of proficiency in computer operations from El Centro College in Dallas, Texas. His background in communication was sharpened during his time as a union steward, where he skillfully bridged the gap between management and employees, resolving over 500 cases with clarity, empathy, and precision. When Rick's not recording, you'll find him behind a drum set, cherishing family time or enjoying long walks and deep talks with his beloved, beautiful wife, Catherine. Rick is proof that it's never too late to follow your voice, and his story is just getting started. Welcome to the show, Rick.
Hello, everyone. How you guys doing?
We are doing fabulous now with you here in the studio. So, your voice is so smooth, Rick. When did you first realize you could utilize it for a career?
Well, it's a quick, long. I'm gonna take the short route. I had an aunt who was an educator, right?
Okay.
And she's a musician. She's been a musician for the past 50 years. And what she did, she loved to write plays, and she was writing a play
Ooh.
called Cavalry, right? And she went out to a radio station to one of the disc jockeys, and and she asked them, would they come in and narrate the play for her? And the guy said, "Well, we can do it, but they needed so much money to do it." She said, "Well, I don't have that kind of money. This is for the kids in the church, right?" So she
Right.
said, "I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get my nephew. He's 13 years old." So she
Oh,
wrote a script. Okay, Vicky, she wrote this script, and then she gave me this monologue, and she said, "Okay, just repeat after me," and she taught
no.
me how to kind of like read through it. And then when I first heard my voice in a mic, it just I fell in love with it,
Oh,
and
yay.
almost immediately, all of her listeners that was in the audience at the play was just like, "Wow, who's this guy?" And they gave me a standing ovations. And from that point on, I have
Ooh.
said to myself, when I get done with this United States Postal Service, I
Yeah.
am going to utilize my voice and go after my career.
Oh, that is so profound. I love it so much. So, who do you count among your greatest influences, Rick?
Well, for one, I have to say my mom, she's the mother of 13 kids, right? And she's my
Oh,
biggest supporter. And then also my uncle and my aunt, who were influential in my life. They were around, and they kept room and nursery. My dad died young, okay? And then the balladeer, my brother Charlie Vaughn, who you got a chance to meet when we were in Iowa, right?
yes.
He's been a great influence in my life. And then I got another brother named Charles. Charles have always been around. He's been my brother when my real brother wasn't around. And then I got a guy by the name of Jerry Marshall. He's been like my big uncle, right? And he has
Ooh,
always showed me love and dropped golden nuggets on me. And last but not
yeah.
least, I have to mention my pastor in Dallas, Texas, Pastor Danny Ray Cox, who has been a great influence in my life.
Oh, wow. I love that. So, what's your favorite kind of voiceover work and why?
Well, my favorite is documentaries. I love to narrate documentaries, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Yes.
Because to me, it allows the listeners. It allows me, first of all, as a voiceover artist, to take the listeners on a journey
Right.
as I tell the story about whatever's going on in that documentary and take them on a ride of life with the
Right.
voice. And that's that to me. That's my most favorite things to do in voiceover. Is using my voice in documentaries. Yes.
Ah, wow, that's so profoundly beautiful. So, do you have a bucket list, Rick? And if so, what is on that list?
Well, yes, I do. Thanks for asking, Vicki. Yeah, first
Yeah.
of all, one of my things that I would love to do is host a red carpet event from some major organization. My bucket list is to start my podcast, Church Beyond the Four Walls, and then go on another family cruise with the family, and
Yeah.
then then to provide my voice for an animated character in a cartoon. Those are my bucket list.
Oh, they're all so exciting. I love those. Okay, so ever had a funny moment or blooper while recording that made you crack up mid-take?
Yes, I listen. I never shall forget, Vicky.
Uh-huh.
I was doing this script, and the word that I was supposed to pronounce was statistics, right?
Okay.
And for some strange reason, my tongue got tied, and I said statistics right in the middle of the take, and I just stopped, bust out laughing. They stopped and okay, y'all, let's start it over again. That was one of my bloopers. I was like, wow, and
Yes,
I had to kind of like get it out of there and then go back to work. Yes,
that's cute. Solistics. You started a whole new word.
yes, I did.
Yes, solistics. It sounds beautiful. Okay, so were there any unexpected challenges when transitioning from the Postal Service to voiceover work? And if so, what were those challenges?
Well, for one, for me, yes, there were challenges, right? And one of the main challenges for me was finding the right studio to enhance my voiceover journey. Because as you know, Vicky, because you're in broadcasting as
Right,
well,
right.
it's all about how the listeners hear you, right? And you
Yes,
got to have a special room. It has to have the right type of padding so that the sound is not muffled, and it
right,
and it and it has to come out clear and precise because we're only as good as the listeners hear us, right?
right.
So that was one of my challenges, finding that sweet spot. And
Mhm.
then another thing was navigating through with operating the different various types of software that was needed to capture my smooth sound in that electronic format. So there was another thing. It was a journey. I had to learn about different softwares to make sure that my sample rate and my 44-100, voice style where I can speak into the mic would
Mhm.
always come out smooth and precise. And then last but not least, one of the challenges for me was making sure that I understood as a voiceover artist is to understand the read, the word, awareness, the
Yeah,
personality, putting the emotions in it when I'm talking, the articulation of it, the pitch
right.
and the quality, right? And
Yes.
then the control and the volume when it came to using my voice in voiceover work. Those were some of the challenges. And I'm telling
Yeah.
you, and you have to do that all the time. I was listening to you when you came in. Your voice is so radiant and so beautiful,
Oh,
and
thank
I
you.
was listening to the different pitches that you were doing, and it was all under control, and that's the
Aw.
key. All right.
Under control. There you go. Thank you so much for your kind words. My papa was a letter carrier his whole entire life.
Wow.
And I know he used to come in the middle of the winter and he would have icicles hanging from his beard. And
Yes.
oh, he just worked so hard. So I give you all the applause that you deserve for being a letter carrier all those years.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, and what a cool transition. I love how you take charge of your life and make it happen.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back in time to childhood, shall we?
Yes.
What's one favorite memory that still brings a smile to your face from childhood?
Well, this is it. This is a great question, by the way. My dad, it was 13 of us. And there was some Christmas we didn't get anything. The gentlemen didn't, but the girls did. But my dad
Oh,
bought me a bike. It had a small wheel in the front and a big wheel in the back, and it
Wow.
was yellow and orange with tassels on the handlebars, right? And it had a gear
Yay.
shift for 5 speed, and
Yes.
that Vicky was the most
Right.
memorable. That was one of my best Christmas, and I'm telling you, right now to this day, when I think about them, my dad is deceased and passed
Yeah.
on, but I loved him for it, and it has stayed with me my whole life.
I love that. Wow, how beautiful. Rest in peace to your papa. When did your
Yes.
papa pass?
Well, when he passed, I was, I think, 18 years old. It's been a
Oh,
while.
I'm so
So
sorry.
he
Yeah.
passed before I started the journey as a young man.
Yes,
But
he
but but he
did.
gave me great nuggets in life. He taught me
Yeah.
how to be consistent and stand firm in what I believe. And he
Oh,
taught me not to ever be afraid to try.
wow. That is fabulous. Oh, I love it. So let's change subjects a little bit lightheartedly. What's your biggest pet peeve? Come on, be honest. Something that always gets under your skin.
Well, my biggest pet peeve, I would say, you know, when for me it would be when people are just not concerned about the time. Time is important to me, right? Because we all know that time is money, and when
Yes.
people just late and just not on time, it's just not a good thing for me. And then the lack of communication. You got to, in this journey, as you know, Vicky,
Yes,
communication is a lifeline, right?
it
And
is.
and you have to reach out to people when you can do something in communicating, right? Letting them know,
Right.
and when you can't, it's just as important. You just can't say, "Okay, today I'm supposed to be on the podcast with Vicky,"
Yeah.
and don't even think to reach out if I can't make it, and
Right.
tell Vicky, I can't make it today.
Yeah.
So that's something just digs at me when people don't communicate, and
Yes.
then I cannot stand, Vicky, negative responses and interactions from others. I
Oh,
believe I just don't do that well. You know what I mean?
yes. I hear you. Uh, I don't do negativity at all.
That's great. That's great.
I don't do it. So, what advice would you give someone who's thinking of stepping into a new career related venture?
Well, what I would say to some of them, I would say, hey, first of all, if you're taking a journey in a career or life changing, whatever that is, first of all, just know it's serious. It's going to be some hard work in it, because it ain't no sweat, there's no gain. And then what I would say to them, hey, be consistent at whatever it is your journey is going to be, right? Make sure that you move in faith and hope because you can do just about anything and accomplish anything if you believe it. So just know if you step out on whatever it is, I believe that the life has ladders and it has bridges, right? And I believe that if you got a 20-foot bridge that's going over I say a river or a lake, and you need to get to one side to the other, I believe that you should build that bridge. But when you get to that last step, you should be able to step comfortably off of that bridge onto dry land. And that's what I would say to each and everybody that's listening on today. Make sure, build that bridge where it's a comfortable step.
Yeah.
Don't build it out 5 steps and then you got to jump 15 to get to land. No,
Right.
build it all the way, and it takes time.
Yes.
It takes patience.
Yeah.
It takes consistency.
Hmm.
So those are some of the things I would say. If you're gonna venture out with a new career, first believe in yourself. Right?
Yes.
Believe in yourself. Understand your self worth.
Right.
I mean, just like, and I'm gonna say this real quick and I get off of it. Just like a voiceover artist. When I started out, the first thing I did, I bought myself a mic because I invested in me, and
Yes.
you have to take that same approach.
Right. Yes. Make sure that last step is comfortable.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. And radio is theater of the mind, as you know, and you've just created this beautiful performance in my mind. Everything you
Wow.
said resonated with me. That's
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. So, do you have a personal mission statement? And if so, what is it?
Well, my personal mission statement would be a positive mind projects positive energy. I say it everywhere I go. I tell people all the time, Remember that a positive mind projects positive energy.
There you go. I love that. So you've worked in union leadership and EEO. How did those experiences shape your communication style today?
Well, for me, as you know, working those many years doing that EEO journey and all the good things that we had to do. Well, for one, it taught me how to communicate. I was able to develop a unique communication type of a skill that I use today in voiceover. Right. Also, it taught me patience. It taught me just relax. Don't be anxious for anything. It taught me that when you engage with something or someone, whether it's ministerial or whether it's just employees or craft, you just can't beat a dead horse. You have to figure out a solution to make it better.
Right.
It taught me that, and that's the same way in how we perceive when it comes to voiceover. We might get a script, and some of the words sometimes can be challenging, or sometimes just the emotions, or sometimes it's just the presentation and how you're doing it can be kind of complicated. But from my experiences as an EEO rep and learning these different techniques, it has helped me to develop those skills, and now I understand on how to approach certain projects based on my experiences that I shared as an EEO rep. Yes.
That is so exciting. So, how has your family supported your journey, especially, for example, your walks and talks with Catherine?
Oh my goodness, I thought you would never ask. First of all, my wife is an educator. She's an educator. She's a
Ooh,
professional in the business of education, and
sweet.
and one of our favorite pastimes
Love it.
is walking through the park and talking. And a lot of times when we're walking and we're talking, we have some of the most unique conversations. You know, she always challenges my I'm trying to say this word right.
Yeah.
Analytical mindset. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And she always make me think about what it is and how I'm going to go about doing it. You just don't do it, Rick. What's going to be the concept? Which way are you going to take? Have you thought through this versus that? That's the type of person she is, and she always inspired me because she always believed in everything I ever done. And to have her on my team, she's my secretary, by the way, and
Ooh.
she's my my booking manager too. So yeah, she's unique and she's special, and like I said, she's an educator, and we have some of the deepest conversations, especially about this journey in
Oh,
voiceover. So yeah, I
yes. How did you meet your wife?
oh, I can tell. Okay, well, I, real quick, I'll give you the short version of it. My brother, I got a younger brother named LaRon who's also an artist. LaRon was in college in Missouri. At that time, I was living in Texas, and he was attending this college called Vaughn University. And there he met my beloved wife, who was singing with him and another friend, and they was just having a good time. I was in Texas living a whole different life. So one day, I got the invite with Kirk Franklin to go on the promo tour as a manager. So
Ooh.
one of the stops that we stopped at was in Memphis, Tennessee, when and they was having the Church of God in Christ annual convocation, and we
Okay.
stopped in just for a second, right, Vicky? We didn't stay long, and
Yes.
there I met Nicole. He introduced me to Nicole and her sister Carol, and I played kind of like nonchalant. I really acted like
Yeah.
I wasn't paying her any mind, but I was watching because she was very attractive.
Yeah.
And from that day, Nicole was in college then. She was working on her bachelor's. Since then, she's achieved her master's and all of that, and she's a doctor now over at the university. But that's how I met her. And when I met Nicole, it was years ago. And then never would have thought I was going to marry her. Never even crossed my
Yeah.
mind. But today, it was one of the best moves, Vicky, I could have ever made in life.
Oh,
Yes.
how lovely. That is so exciting. So, all of you out there looking for your soulmate, it's possible. Yes. Okay, so tell me, do you have any fall plans that you'd like to share with us?
Well, yes. I guess on the 6th of September, which is next month, I am going to be hosting, along with my niece, my manager. It's called the Musical Hall of Fame Awards,
Oh,
and I will be on the. They call it the gold carpet, and I'll be talking to some of the artists, CC Winers, hopefully Kirk Franklin, and all the rest
oh,
of the crew. I
CC
mean,
Winans. Yay,
yes,
I love
yes,
it.
yes. And I'm looking forward to that. That will be on the 6th of September. And also, I'm going to attend the United States Black Chambers of Commerce Incorporation National Conference in Washington, D.C. with my manager, Jay. And she will be speaking and performing. She's an artist as well. And then also, I'm hosting a program with my business partner at Lindenwood University here in St. Louis, Missouri. And it's called Cutting Conversations. That's when we go
Ooh,
into the universities and we talk to the young adults and we chat it up and we talk about things that, in our world, Vicky,
yeah.
the mental stress is everywhere. The minds are just not stable. And this provide a platform for us to talk to whoever that might be and give them a better way of looking at life, right? And then also, last but not least, I am participating this year in the creation of the Thanksgiving and Christmas musical production at Salem's Methodist United Church here in St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow, you are one busy man. How inspirational you are. Oh my gosh. Do you ever sleep?
Well, I have a calendar and I have to book things out.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay, I started. If it's okay, I started
Yes,
about 3 years
please.
ago. Just tell you a little bit about my journey. I
Yeah.
started 3 years ago, really seriously, figuring out a way after I retired. As far as what I was going to do,
Right.
and since then, I created a company called RNC Productions. Okay,
Ooh.
and that's been fabulous. And then from there, up under this umbrella, I partnered with a company called Live Culture out of Austin, Texas, which we wrote this play called, it's not a play, it was like, I don't know what you call it, but we wrote this thing, Cutting Conversations. And
Oh,
we wrote another one called Equally Yoked, where you come together with your significant other for 45 minutes and you get a chance to kind of like worship and sing and have music playing and eat a little food
mhm.
in real time. And that's something couples don't do today. They
Yes,
don't get
right?
together and they don't do things uniquely, spiritually. So that's
Yes,
something we big on. And
right.
last but not least, we do a thing what we call catch up. And basically what it is, that's family catching up with each other,
Ooh, yeah.
bringing the kids, making sure they understand who the aunts and uncles are, right? Making sure they understand the financial structure, how to leave legacies. Yeah, this
Ooh,
this is what we do. So yeah, it's a lot. So I have to book myself out because I just don't do
yes.
voiceover work. I do a whole lot of other things. Yeah.
Right. Yes, you do. So, were there any unexpected challenges while transitioning from the Postal Service to retirement and voiceover work?
Well, I guess the challenge for me, first of all, was I had to like leave Texas and move to Missouri. That was a challenge.
Yes.
I had to find a place to live. I had to put stuff
Mhm.
in storage. I had to figure out how was the studio going to look and sound and things like that. And then I had to meet a lot of different people. That's remember we talked about,
Mhm.
communicating. I had to meet a lot of different peoples and figure out my map here in Missouri as far as how I was going to move forward as a voiceover artist. So yeah, it was challenging, man. And then the weather. I came from a state where the weather was really fairly comfortable all year. And then I
Yeah.
get to Missouri, we having 14. And listen, Vicky, it took me a while to just get used to the cold weather. I'm wearing long johns, thermal socks, and
Oh,
all that, and I
sure.
couldn't get warm. But I have made the adjustment now, and I love it.
Oh, and you love it, and that's the main part. Yes. So, what about do you have anything that you regret? Any regrets from the past? Anything that you would have changed if you could go back in time?
Any requests? Let me think about that for a second.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, well, what I would have done differently I guess, for me,
Yes.
but it has nothing to do with my voice. The
Yeah.
road I've taken with
Right.
my voiceover is great.
Yes.
But what I would have done differently would have been, I would have put more of my resources outside of the company and be as independent financially
Yeah.
later. That's what I would, because a lot of times they bait you in at 5%, 10% of whatever you put into a certain fund on the job, right?
Right.
But
Right.
but what I found out after I was retiring, guess
Right.
what? They tax you 20% of
Oh,
whatever that is, and then from there, then you confronted with the tax in your personal life as
right.
well, because all that goes into your added income. So yeah, I would have done something differently with my resources if I could do one thing different. Yes.
And
It's
now
not that
you're
I'm doing bad now, but I'm sorry. It's not that I'm doing bad now, but
no.
I could have done a whole lot of things a lot greater different. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
exactly, and I love how you're helping the next generation learn about those kinds of things. I mean, who takes the time to t what was what do you call that when you meet with the family?
We call that catch up. And
Catch
what
up. Yes,
yes,
there you
catch
go.
catch
Catch
up.
up.
What we do, we put together a room, we bring mics and we set up the ambiance, music and food, and we bring all the family in. And
Sweet.
then we gets on the mic and
Yes.
we ask these questions. Okay. So, do you know your aunt Susie? And they're like, Aunt
Mm,
Susie? What do you mean? Who was Aunt Susie? Then we turn,
right,
because the parent is there and the dad. So we turn to the parents. Okay, this is what we mean by catch up.
right.
You guys got to teach your kids who the aunts and the uncles and the cousins are in the family. This one over here at this table, she's a professional lawyer, or this one over here is a realtor. And they need to know that they have access to things that they're going to need through life. And
Yeah,
what we try to do is host that conversation, making sure the family catch up with each other, where there's nobody is surprised about it. Making sure they understand that when somebody passes on, we got to set up legacies, we got to set up trust. So when people pass, we're not confronted with all the tax or
right,
some of the probate stuff you go through. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
Yeah. So these are the conversations we have with the family, and we trying to educate. That's the
yeah,
trick. We're trying to educate because education is important. It's
yeah.
a lifeline.
Yes, knowledge is power.
Yes.
Absolutely. Okay, so unfortunately, we're getting close to the end of our time. Oh my gosh, it's been such a pleasure. So
Yes.
tell me, where can audience members find you on the web and social media?
Okay. Well, I have just to the audience and to the listeners. I do have a manager, and then I do have a agent as far as my voiceover work. But we're working on sizzle reels right now as we speak. We're working on our Instagrams and all these things. But
Mhm.
in the meantime, because those things are coming very soon, you can reach me at Rick Rick V as in Victor Rick V 5041 at gmail.com. That's Rick V 5041 at gmail.com.
Perfect. I love it. Any closing thoughts, Rick?
Yes, I would just like to give a big shout out to Vicki. I'm telling you, it was a pleasure meeting you an hour.
Thank
You did an
you.
awesome interview. I was so excited. I mean, I wasn't expected to be interviewed, and you did such an awesome job.
Oh,
And you have such a warm personality. I'm
oh,
telling you,
thank
man.
you,
And
sweetie.
then to invite me here on your podcast, it's just awesome. I tell you, I love it, and I hope this won't be the last one. But
Oh,
thank you so
no.
much, and it's been a blessing just meeting you. Thank
Oh,
you.
Rick, right back at you, my friend. It's an honor to share the mic with you. And that day, God had all that planned for
Yes, he
us
did.
to meet. I believe this, all part of His plan. And who knows where this will take. Just think of someone watching this who's been, I really want to do this, this, and this, but I don't think I can. And now you've changed their life and they're going
Wow.
to do it. Don't you love
Yes.
that?
I
Yay.
love it. I love it.
Okay, so you'll definitely be on my show again, right?
Right, I will.
Yeah.
I'll come back. Yes.
Oh, I love it. Okay, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being a part of this broadcast today. We appreciate all of you. Thank you. Bye, Rick. Thanks for
Bye bye.
recording with me. It's been a pleasure.